No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. And today I'm having to sit down with a woman who's been making waves, making noise, and has been surprisingly heavily requested. A lot of people wanted to see us sit down.
That's crazy.
It is?
I'm amazed.
Why?
Because I get a lot of dislike at times. Like, yeah, I do get dislike.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's part of why they want to see us sit down. Maybe they want to see, you know, what could kind of rise up to the surface. I don't know.
True that. Yeah.
Definitely. Because, like, I mean, for people who don't know who I'm sitting down with right now, you initially rose to prominence on TikTok. You had some very interesting sort of podcast drama collaborations, etc., over the last couple of years. But yeah, we're gonna get into all that.
Yeah,
so, okay, tell me a little bit about growing up. You were born in East LA, right?
I was born in East LA, but I got raised in Lynwood. So
Right.
shout out to all my people in Lynwood, man, here representing.
So at what age did you transition over? Did you move to
Like
Lynwood?
7,
Okay.
like around 7 years old. So
Okay.
I grew up on Pope Street, and I was living there for a long time. So I grew up there. I grew up in the streets. There's a history to that, though. You know what I mean? Coming from a dysfunctional family.
Right.
I ended up in the streets. I got kicked out. Sometimes I'll leave. And I just felt like the streets were peaceful for me, where I didn't hear no bullshit in the house or shit talking. So
were you exposed to sort of street life while you lived in East LA, or this kind of happened once you got a little older and you went to Lynwood, right?
yeah, nobody was affiliated in my household. Nobody.
Okay.
So I don't know. I just got exposed to it. I grew up on that street Pope, and it all started there. It was just gang affiliated activities, dope selling, and I would see that growing up. And it might sound weird, but I got a little fascinated by it. Like, and then like around 14, 15, I got exposed more in junior high, being around people like that, and I like the environment.
I mean, a lot of people kind of treat that as if it's like a dirty sentiment to just say, like, I was fascinated by what was going on in that world. But the truth is that, like, I obviously am not from like a street lifestyle from like a super young age, but I felt the same way. I was fascinated. I wanted to do bad shit. I wanted to be around all this crazy shit. And like, even a lot of the real gang members that I interview, it becomes kind of clear, like, oh, you didn't have to end up on the streets. You know, you were interested in it. You went out of your way to get into this type of shit.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I had a choice.
Okay.
But I just felt like the street life was, I don't know, I felt like people cared for me. You know, at the household, there was always arguing and disputing the parents. My mom always talking shit to me. I felt like I was her scapegoat. So I always ended up in the street. Get the f out of here. And at first I was scared at him. I was like, fuck, she's kicking me out. Where am I going to go? So I was like, fuck it. I started walking the streets, and around the corner from my house, there was a park. And I was like, fuck. I sat there, met some people, and I want to smoke.
Was that your first time smoking?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. You want to smoke a joint? And I'm like, I don't even know these fools, but I'm down.
Right.
Hey, we're always here posted. And I just started getting comfortable with the streets, you know?
Definitely. What age was that, would you say?
Like 15.
Okay.
Yeah. That's when I started feeling like I was being attacked more by my mom. And, you know, I don't want to make my mom sound like a horrible person. Now as an adult, I get the trauma that comes with it. But it affected me. It affects our kids, you know, even shit that I've done, it affects my kids. But I ended up in the streets, and I just started f***ing up, getting high, you know, started smoking weed. Then I went to the next.
Right.
And, you know, my mom would still give me money. I was still in school, you know, through the whole time. I was a fucker, but I was still in school. And I would always ask my mom, can I get $5 for lunch? But it was actually for weed. Right. You know? And
so when you look at that, when you first went to the park and started hanging out with all these like sort of older people and everything, do you think that they genuinely they were just nice people? Or was it the kind of thing where they were thinking that you were going to be valuable to them in some way?
I felt like they cared.
Okay.
Yeah, because, you know, all the attention, like, hey, woo, like I'm the new shit roaming around, you know, hey, what's up, and smiley.
Right.
And it was just like that. And
definitely. So, okay, getting into though, like you started off with the weed, and then what was the pace of getting into other stuff?
Crystal.
That was the bad one for you, right?
That was a downfall for me.
Really?
At first, it was just like enjoying it. Let's try it. Let's rack up some lines. Tried it, and I liked the feeling, and it was just on and off. But when I hit the streets, is when I really got deep into it. It made me feel good. It made me forget about shit, like not giving a fuck, about my feelings. Because believe it or not, like I was really hurt. I would always get hurt by my mom, like, get the fuck out of here. Those were always her words, or calling the police. I'm gonna call the police. And I don't know, I'd be like, I'm gonna go buy me a fucking Dove and smoke my shit. And
was your mom an addict as well, or
no.
do you think she was just dealing with sort of mental health type stuff? Or
I think she was dealing with mental health, and she wasn't happy with my dad. Yeah. So yeah, I felt like I was her scapegoat for that.
Was your dad more of a solid presence in your life? Did you have more of a consistent relationship with him?
As a little girl, I remember, like, I was his first daughter, so I was always with him. But I don't know, we're a family of 7, so it's like he gave attention to everybody. But I don't know where that came from, man. Like, I don't know. I remember us being good. And then, like, 12 years old, I started seeing a different cycle in my home, always arguing, always fighting. But as kids, we don't want to look at our parents like, oh, why are they fighting? It's my dad's fault. It's my mom's fault. I was just neutral. Like, my mom would ask me, right, isn't it your dad's fault? And I'll be like, shit, I don't know. Like, I just know my dad as my dad, and I know you as my mom. And she will always blame me, like, see, you're defending him. So I think a lot had to do with her not being happy with my dad. And she dealt with it. And as a Hispanic family growing up, is like, that's all you want, is to have your mom and dad, like, oh, we're a happy family. But I would rather not grow up with both parents if it was just going to be like that,
Yeah. Like, having my daughter's 4.5. And at this point, it's like, I see the way that she has no doubt that mom and dad are just always going to be around, always going to be good. And I see the way that makes her strong and confident. And then when I think about what it would be like to take that away from her, or if our relationship, if we were to start, dramatically fighting all the time or whatever, I can just kind of imagine what that would do to her, to like rip away that certainty that she has about her parents. And I could just imagine how unbelievably hard that must be on a kid.
Yeah, because it's like a whole shutdown to the house, Everybody's in the room. They're like, I don't want to come out. Like, I don't know what mood are they in. Are they good? Are they bad?
Okay, so you just saw the clip, but did you know that you can watch this entire interview right now before it's released to the public, uncensored, by becoming a member for just $5 a month? And there's a lot of other crazy benefits as well. So make sure you hit the link down in the description and sign up. Appreciate y'all.